Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with something that's very fun, very cool, and something I've been wanting to review for a while. We have another of the different variants of the Haolonggood Tyrannosaurus Rex. When it comes to Haolonggood, when they first started releasing, basically started their trend of releasing figures quite regularly, one of the very first ones that they had released was the Tyrannosaurus Rex. At the time, it came in 3 different colorations. I only acquired one, and I've been wanting to get the other 2 for quite some time, and I still have, one more to get, but I now have a new variant here that I didn't have previously, so I'm excited to actually get a review up for this color variant as well for you guys. And of course, this figure actually comes from Happy Hen Toys, a website that honestly is severely underrated, and you guys really need to check that site out. If you are a purchaser of dinosaur models, that's one of the best sites on the internet that you can go to find, figures from Haolonggood, PNSO, Mojo Fun, Papo, Collect Day. You've got tons of different companies on there. Rebor, again, so much stuff that you can find on there that even, some things that other sites don't even have in stock anymore. In fact, like the PNSO crocodile I had reviewed not long ago, I was having trouble actually finding a place to link you guys to. They have it in stock and on sale. It's only like $3 or something like that, which is crazy. But anyway, back to this. I'm kind of getting off track here. You can see on the front of the box, we've got an image there of the skeleton. You've got the Haolonggood logo. You also have the fact that it is 1/35th scale and the Tyrannosaurus Rex, again, species name. And then on the back, you have basically the same thing, just a little different as far as the way it's positioned on the box, different color for the skeleton. And then up on the top, you can see basically the 3 different color variants, and you can see that this is the green variant right here. So let's pop this box open, bring it in, and check it out. So first of all, contained within, we've got a really cool card here, again showing off the 3 different paint variants for this release. So far, I had this one, which was the first one that I reviewed. I've got the green one clearly now, and the next one I need to get is the blue one, which if I do get a hold of that, I will put a review up on the channel for it. And then on the back, you can see a nice shot of the dinosaur with the skeleton, and again, the size next to a human being, which is really fun. On top of that, you do have a base for this release, which isn't something that you always get from Haolonggood. Once in a while, they include it. I really do like the inclusion of bases with my dinosaur figures. And then we've got the T-Rex itself. And honestly, I have to say that originally I felt like the first version that I got was the one that I was most looking forward to, the one that I liked the most. But now, having this version here in person, I've changed my mind completely. As much as I did like the original version, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. The colors on this are so vibrant, and I do love greens on Tyrannosaurs. Not only does it have nice greens, it's got some beautiful oranges. It's also got nice variation of color with browns. Man, Haolonggood always does such a great job on the paint apps of their figures, and this honestly might be one of the nicest painted Haolonggood figures that I've ever seen. And now actually seeing this in person and seeing how good it is, now I really want the blue one even more. So let's go ahead and jump to a closer look, and we'll check it out from there. So if you are familiar with this figure, and if you are familiar with my channel, as I had already mentioned, I've reviewed this in the past, so I don't need to review this sculpt, because the original color variant does share, of course, the same sculpt as this one, which means I really only need to go over the new edition, which would be the coloration. And man, oh man, is it ever beautiful. Just look here in the face. There is so much slight variation of color added to this figure. You can see some lighter tones here, some darker greens here, lighter tones moving around the eye, some different variations with browns up here. You've got darker greens here, lighter greens there. That is a ton of coloration to be included on the head sculpt of this dinosaur. There is just so much color. You can very clearly see that Haolonggood went all out for this version. Another thing that's really nice would be the eye paint. You can see the eye paint sports numerous variations of color in there and a nice gloss coat, helping it to shine very realistically. And I like the light green compared to the greens of the body. I think that was a very nice choice, and it works well overall. The jaw does articulate once you open the mouth. You can see we've got a very nice tone of color in there. Nice gloss coat added as well, making it shine, giving it that saliva-like look. And the teeth look really good. You can see they as well have a very high quality look to them. Nice gloss coat added to the teeth. Again, all sculpted individually, and they are all all painted with very nice precision and care. You can see the same for the lower jaw. You can also see the tongue there sculpted on the inside of the mouth. It looks really good. If you look at the back of the throat, again, everything looks really nice, and you can even see a little variation of color to the inside of the mouth of the T-Rex. So overall, the inside of the mouth looks great. So as we move up here to the top of the head, you can now see that we've got, again, some beautiful oranges up here. And the coloration here, the orange, plays off of the greens so nicely. And I love the fact that the oranges aren't overly bright. Like, they look, honestly, like the color I would expect to see on this now. I don't know if I could ever go back to looking at T-Rex without an orange on it, because that variation of orange on the top looks so good. But as you move along, again, you can see there is a striping effect that moves down through the back with a, looks like a black, kind of, we have like some variations of dark browns up here, but then as you move down the course of the spinal column here, you can see a nice black striping that follows along the orangish tones. And as you move down into the side, and again we lead back to the greens, you can see some darker greens have been applied, lighter greens and browns throughout, and there is also some really subtle patterning that you can see. And honestly, it's almost even hard to pick up on right away, but when you look at it again from a distance, you can see that there is actually a lot of intricate patterning that has been applied to the figure, even moving all the way out into the tail. But you can really see it there moving down through the course of the thigh, and within those areas, again, even the patterning shares variation of color, as we have greens and browns, and maybe even some dark grays in some of those areas of the patterning. On top of that, the figure is given a nice dark wash, which helps to highlight the detail even more. And again, you can see it, especially as you move down here to the underside, the dark wash definitely shining here, highlighting all of the individual scales on the underside of the T-Rex. On top of that, moving along the underside, you can see variation of color down here, as you have some like off-whites. You've also got almost like some kind of orangish tones, like orangish brown tones, moving along the underside of the T-Rex. Even down here, again, so much variation of color. Like I said, Haolonggood really went all out when it comes to the release of this one and when it comes to the paint of this one. You can also see the nails are painted with a dark gray. You'll see the same for the feet, and you can see the feet also have like a light kind of grayish dry brushing over them to highlight all of the detail, including the scoots moving down the toes. And then as you move back up here into the tail, and again we lead out through the length of the tail, you see more of that really nice patterning, more of the extremely vibrant and gorgeous greens. You can also see how smooth the transition is from the greens to the coloration of the underside there. And then you lead out and you've got a last little bit of flashiness there with that orange tone at the tip of the tail, almost like a Haolonggood tradition at this point to change the coloration on the tip of the tail. But when you look at it at the opposing side, again, man, it just looks so nice. This has got to be one of the nicest painted Tyrannosaur models that I now have in my collection, and definitely one of the most realistically painted. Haolonggood, I feel like, you know, they are definitely appreciated, but at the same time, they are severely underrated when it comes to the actual paint applications of their figures. I just don't hear people talk about it enough, and I think, again, as per usual, they have done a phenomenal job on this one, maybe their best paint job that I've seen. And then we also, of course, have the base. Now, the base is the same as the base was the first time I had acquired the original version that I had reviewed. So you can see it's basically a nice earthy area. You've got some vegetation here and there. You've also got a little area of water, which I love. I absolutely adore when companies include just a little bit of water on the base, because it just always amps up the realism of it. But you can see the paintwork and everything looks great. There's also some nice variation of color to the base. You even have a little area here where this log has been broken open, so they painted that with a lighter tone to highlight the fact that that is kind of like, you know, the bark has been rubbed away and you have just the inside of the tree right there, or the inside of the log. But again, extremely realistic paintwork. And of course, just in general, it's extremely realistic when you look at this base. It is a fantastic base to go with an absolutely fantastic T-Rex. So since I have reviewed the figure as far as the sculpt and everything in the past, I don't need to measure it. I don't need to do comparisons or anything like that outside of one comparison, and that would be to bring in the other paint variant of the T-Rex that I have currently in my collection. So you can now see that the two of them together look fantastic, and it's another one of those instances that Haolonggood is so good at, where you can look at them and be like, wow, you know, maybe one's a male, one's a female. And again, there's also another paint variant yet available as well. But you can see how nice the paintwork was on the original version I had reviewed here as well. But man, that other one, the green one that I just acquired, looks so darn good. But honestly, both of them do. But again, this is, like I said, a figure I have technically reviewed already with the sculpt, which was in the first review. So if you want to see a more detailed look at the actual sculpt, you can always check out the original review. And we basically just wanted to focus on what differentiates this version that I just acquired compared to the older one, which was the colors. But the figure as a whole is fantastic. I absolutely love this T-Rex. And some people might look at it and think maybe it's not the greatest T-Rex in general because it doesn't have lips. And I know right now everybody loves seeing their Tyrannosaurus with lips. And maybe Haolonggood at some point in the future will release a lipped version, but even still, I feel like it's probably one of the nicest looking Tyrannosaurus models that I have in my collection. And I'm not absolutely partial to the lip thing. I think that, there's a very good chance the T-Rex did in fact have lips, so probably should have them, but even the lipless versions look great. And again, this version here is far and away one of the nicest versions of T-Rex in my collection, especially when it comes to the paint, but also when it comes to the detail. It is super highly detailed, as per usual when it comes to Haolonggood. But again, I'm just absolutely floored at how nice the paintwork is on this green version. So hopefully at some point I'll be able to get my hands on the blue version as well. If I do, I will of course review it for you guys. But in the meantime, if you want to grab, of course, the blue version, but either of the two versions that I've already reviewed, you can grab both from Happy Hen Toys, again, where I acquired this green version. The shipping was ultra quick. They pack them with care. A great, great website. I cannot, again, speak highly enough of Happy Hen Toys. So make sure you check the link that I will include in the description. Go grab yourself one of or all of these Tyrannosaurs from Happy Hen Toys. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.